At 6'10", this Greensboro native had a powerful serve, producing an ATP-leading 14,411 career aces that prompted John McEnroe to call him the best server ever. He was the top-ranked American tennis player for 8 years and ranked among the top 20 in the world for 10 straight seasons. This University of Georgia alum finished his professional career with 16 titles and more than $22 million in earnings. He won the longest match in tennis history at Wimbledon, a match that lasted 11 hours and 5 minutes in a match played over 3 days. A 2012 Olympian, he played in 17 straight U.S. Opens. The marathon man of tennis. Please welcome to the Hall of Fame, John Isner.
Greensboro's own John Isner. All right, I've got, my goodness, I probably have 100 questions for you. At 6'10" or
it's 11.
You need to update your Wikipedia.
I know.
You need to update your Wikipedia page.
I've been saying this the last 2 days. Like, you know, it's not like basketball, right? You don't get like officially measured. I got measured in college my freshman year at 6'9", which I actually was, and they just kind of went with that, and I never stopped growing. So
okay.
I'm 6'11".
So at 6'11", when you meet a stranger and they see you and your height, they assume you played basketball, right? So what is the reaction when you tell them, oh, I'm a professional tennis player?
I actually have gotten mistaken for Tyler Hansbrough tonight a couple times. Yes, so the logical assumption is basketball, especially when you grow up in this great state. Somehow the sport escaped me. I did play a lot of basketball. It's not like I never picked up a basketball in my life, but my two passions growing up were basketball and tennis, and somewhere along the line it became very difficult to juggle both sports. And I went with tennis probably around 14 years old. I had two older brothers that I figured I might be, you know, maybe their height a little taller than them, but they're complete shrimps next to me. So yeah, I think if a doctor would have told me I'd be almost 7 feet tall, I probably would have stuck with basketball.
That's true. Yeah, Coach Hamilton probably would have recruited you on that one. All right, the longest match in Wimbledon history, 11 hours, 5 minutes, 3 days. What was more difficult? Was it more difficult physically or mentally to get through that match?
Yeah, well, everything about that match was miserable. And I won the match too, and it was still miserable. I would say more mentally exhausting than physical, because at a certain, like, adrenaline takes over, in that case over the course of 3 days, especially in the second and third days. I think adrenaline allowed me, like, physically to hold up, but mentally it was very taxing, of course, to be able to stay focused for that long. And my opponent did the exact same thing as me. He was focused for 11 hours, every bit of it. That match was insane to be a part of. I think the one cool thing about that match is that there was absolutely zero gamesmanship that went on during the course, that no one called an injury timeout. None of that stuff went on. Right. We each took a bathroom break somewhere in the 50s, and we went in the bathroom together, and I'm like, golly, like, why don't you just go away? But, you know, but that's it. And it was just a crazy match to be a part of, and eventually I was able to win it.
16 career singles titles, including 2 of the Winston-Salem Open tennis tournament. What did winning those 2 years back at home mean to you?
Yeah, so I went to the University of Georgia, obviously played 4 years there, and there was a tournament in Atlanta that I played a bunch and I had some success in. And when I was a professional player, everyone thought I was from Georgia. They just kind of, like, I was synonymous, I guess, a little bit with the school there, which made a little sense, but not many people realized I was actually from this great state of North Carolina. I always would correct people. Yes, I love the Georgia Bulldogs, but I'm a North Carolinian, right? So, yes, the tournament in Winston-Salem, the ATP moved the tournament here in 2012, I believe. That was the first year. Maybe it was the tournament director's here. Jeff Ryan's here. 2011 or 12, I can't remember, but Yeah, I knew that was going to be a cool opportunity for me. It was going to be an event where I wouldn't stay at a hotel. I'd stay at my parents' house. And the first 2 editions of that tournament, I was able to win. And that's in large part because, I had friends and family watch me and a lot of crowd support. It goes a long way.
In addition to being very famous for the longest match in Wimbledon history, very famous for your serve, once clocked at 157 miles an hour. How did you develop that weapon in the sport of tennis, and how much did your height contribute to that?
About 95% of it. The height certainly helps. You can imagine the trajectory I can get on my serves. I mean, if you call me 7 feet and then I reach my arms up, I'm almost touching the rim and maybe 6 inches short. My racket's 28 inches long, and I can get up in the air a little bit. I mean, the serve's coming down at about 13 feet probably.
Right.
I would imagine. So yeah, I was able to create angles that a lot of my opponents could not. And of course, my serve was my biggest weapon, and it allowed me to stay in a lot of matches where otherwise I wouldn't have even been close to my opponents. And it allowed me to play professional tennis for a very long time.
When you uncorked one of those heaters, what were some of the most unique reactions from your opponents that you got?
Yeah, I would have when my opponents would get frustrated. That's when I knew I was like at the top of my game. Like that day, they would start guessing. They start chucking their rackets. I played a match at the U.S. Open one time, and Shooter McGavin was from Happy Gilmore. Yeah. Like the first row, and every time I'd hit an ace, he'd go Shooter like that. So I thought that was pretty cool. He was in character the whole time during my match. But yes, it was something that when I was serving very well could definitely frustrate my opponents.
You were the #1 ranked American player for many, many years. The state of American tennis, and why haven't we seen an American player reach the heights that you have?
Well, I think we actually are seeing that now. I mean, I think I had a lot of, with me coming into the pro ranks, I had a lot of great players I could look up to. Not literally, of course, but I think Andy
figuratively.
Yeah. Andy Roddick comes to mind, and then before him, the all-time greats, right? But our sport is so international. It's just lately the Europeans have dominated. It's not so much that American, especially on the men's side, the women's game has been so strong for so long. It's not that we're doing so poorly. It's just for the last 25 years, you've had 5 players really dominate everything with Federer, Djokovic, and Nadal, and now Alcaraz and Sinner. You have these just all-time greats playing in the same era, and they're very, very selfish, and they don't let anyone else win these big events. But having said that, I think the state of American men's tennis right now is in a very, very good spot. There's 2 players in the top 10 in the world, and I think one of which, Ben Shelton is his name. I think he is the one that could ultimately win a Grand Slam. It's been since 2003, right. So it's been a long time.
It's been a while. Obviously, you've been honored in a lot of different ways. To be inducted into the North Carolina Sports Hall of Fame here in your home city of Greensboro, what does that mean?
Oh, it's so special. It's definitely it sounds cliche, but this really is a full circle moment with me. I have the fondest memories of growing up in this town and playing tennis against my brother and my mom taking me to tennis tournaments all over the city, all over the state. That allowed me to, I guess, just further my development as a player and as a person. It allowed me to go to college, this great sport, and this great city of Greensboro. And through that, I got to travel throughout the whole world. I mean, I've been all over the world 17, 18 times over. So blessed in that regard. And to now get this honor and be a part of the North Carolina Sports Hall of Fame in Greensboro, definitely full circle for me.
All right. Favorite tournament that you like to go to, regardless of the results? Where did you like to travel and play the most?
Yeah, I mean, the Grand Slams are the most special, for sure. So it's no offense to the U.S. Open, which was amazing. You have that crowd support playing in New York City, but the most special tournament in the world is Wimbledon. And I think I played that event 17 times or something like that. So that is, for me, it's Wimbledon. It's the mecca of our sport. It's much like Augusta National with golf. It's that special.
Gotcha. Here's your opportunity to thank the people that helped you along in your journey? I would imagine it starts with your parents.
Yes. Well, first and foremost, I gotta, just like everyone else before me, I have to thank my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. I think that's most important, and my faith is always evolving. But I've been so blessed for all these years, and I think it definitely starts with Him. But after that, I had so many amazing coaches growing up in North Carolina. Coaches. My head coach, Manny Diaz, at the University of Georgia, and my coaches on the professional tour. I've surrounded myself with really, really good people to help further my professional career. But the two most instrumental people to my success, definitely my mom and dad. I mean, they gave up so much for me, and my mom gave up so much of her time schlepping me around the state and the South in our blue, ugly van, like playing these tournaments in Louisiana and Georgia and Tennessee. She did it because she wanted to see her son have a lot of fun and enjoy the sport that I fell in love with. So it's definitely my mom and dad. My dad was the hardest worker I knew. I would hear him 4:30 in the morning every morning, get up and go to work to his office, his knees creaking down the steps. He's always had bad knees. They just gave me every opportunity that I could ever ask for. So I'm always eternally grateful to them.
Well, congratulations to John Isner, one of the newest members of the North Carolina Sports Hall of Fame.